back to another edition of The Burnout with yours truly, Tony. This article is coming right around the corner, actually out of Brundidge. So these certain crimes are getting closer and closer to home. But before we start, we're gonna do the quote of the day. Let's look in the box and see what we got here, and see what inspiration we can pull out of here. All right, this one says, "Not everyone staring at you is admiring you. Some are amazed you survived the traps they set for you." So that's an intriguing thing, that some people who's looking at you and staring at you and not doing it out of admiration, they trying to figure out how did you survive all the traps I set for you. Well, sometimes when you set a trap, you better set another one, because the first one ain't guaranteed to catch the person you intended. But this article that I'm reading here is coming from WSFA, and it's right around the corner in our hometown. Well, my home, I guess you can say hometown. It's a school I went to down in Brundidge, Alabama. It says 3 people charged in Brundidge for shooting. It says a Montgomery man and 2 Pike County residents are behind bars after a parking lot shooting in April. Brian Geis, 41, was arrested on Wednesday, May 1st, and charged with 1 count of shooting into an occupied vehicle, 1 count of shooting into an unoccupied vehicle, and 1 count of certain person forbidding to possess a firearm. According to Brundidge Police Chief Sam Green, in late April, Geis fired several shots into a vehicle in the parking lot of a business and injured 1 person. The victim suffered non-life-threatening injuries and underwent treatment at a local hospital. On Monday, Chief Green announced that Donald Pearson, 32 of Brundidge, and Donna Pearson, 30 of Troy, were arrested without incident on Friday. Police charged Donald and Donna with reckless endangerment in the case, and they say that no mugshots of the Pearsons are available at this time. Chief Green said the investigation into the shooting is still ongoing and additional arrests are possible. Actually, I know those. I know one of them. I know Donald Pearson and Brundidge, and Brian Geis. I don't know him, but let's look at this. All right. I don't know what you tried to accomplish, but you didn't. So now you locked up for an idiotic move that made no sense but nobody but you. And you know what? The more we look into this, the more we see that this stuff is getting closer to home. And it's the unnecessary crimes. And there's no crime that's necessary, but it's these foolish crimes. Let me put it that way. These foolish crimes that go, you shooting in an unoccupied car, then you shooting in an occupied car. You shot 1 person. When you're dealing with a little town like Brundidge, it's not hard to identify who you are. People talk, they know you. And for you to do something this ignorant, and there's no purpose for it, because now you locked up. So whatever you thought you was trying to accomplish, you didn't accomplish it. It was downright stupid on your behalf. Because it's just interesting that you give a gun to the average person, and the average person used the gun for self-defense or, just protecting their home. But then you give the gun to the average fool that apparently has absolutely 0 sense of how to use it or what to use it for. Mr. Brian Geis is one of these fools. You're 41 years old. You should know better than this. You don't have anything else better to do but shoot into an unoccupied car and occupied car. This is your logic. This is the only thing that your feeble brain could come up to do. And you didn't really, you hit 1 person, but it wasn't life threatening. And now you in jail. Now, the question I got is, was it worth it? And evidently it wasn't, because it just wasn't. That just shows you that some people should not even be allowed to have a gun. And plus, in this article, he shouldn't even have the gun in the first place. Some people, I don't understand this, that you really have no sense. There's nothing you could have done to avoid this in your mind. You didn't accomplish nothing. The only thing you accomplished is you got locked up. Now these Pearsons, Donald Pearson and Donna Pearson, 32 and 33 of Brundidge. Come on, guys. It don't really say what they did. It just says it was with reckless endangerment in the case. So apparently they was involved in this buffoonery and this foolishness. Now y'all got plenty of time to think about it, because both of y'all are in jail. And then they say they don't have a mug shot, which I don't really know how that's possible. Seemed like that would be rather easy to do. But the point is, they were both taken and they were both arrested. You know, sometimes you think something is a good idea until you sit back and look at it and you realize this is not as brilliant and smart idea as I thought it was. This was stupid. There's no ifs, ands, buts way. There's no other way I can phrase it. This was dumb. You did the dumbest thing you could have done, and you did it. Do these young people, I'm gonna talk to y'all for a minute. It takes 5 minutes to get in trouble. It takes 2 to 3 years to get out of it. So any kind of dispute, any kind of foolishness you got on your mind, before you do this dumbness, sit down and think about it. Is it worth what I'm going to have to pay to get out? And if you gotta think more than 10 seconds, then the answer is no, it's not worth it. I wish more people would sit down and think about your actions before you do them. You could save yourself a whole lot of time. You can save yourself a whole lot of trouble. You can really save yourself from getting in trouble. If you would just take out a few minutes to say, okay, let me look at this and let me see if this is worth what I'm finna to do. Because like I say, in some people, it takes 5 minutes to get in trouble and it takes a lifetime to get out, depending on the severity of what you've done. I just wish y'all would think, these young guys, y'all would think, you're not just guys, young women, I wish y'all would think about this stupid message that y'all about to do. And then I read an article not too long ago about 2 women that robbed men doing something. Look, they got cameras all over the place. You're not going to be hard to catch. You're going to be easily identified. Do y'all just think about this? Does anything calculate in y'all mind before y'all get ready to do this dumbness? Does anything, I don't care what it is, if you got like the cartoons, you got the devil here and the angel here, are you just not listening to the angel? Or is just 2 devils on your shoulders at this point? Because half the stuff that y'all do makes no sense. I see a lot of people, a lot of these young people, they steal. You're not gonna get away with it long. Because you do something long enough, you're bound to get caught. It's just mathematics at that point. I really have no clue what y'all could possibly be thinking about and why this makes sense. It makes no sense. Nothing that has been done so far makes sense. Okay, just like this article. Man received life sentence in Pike County rape theft case. A man has received a life sentence in a rape and theft case in Pike County. According to District Attorney James Tarbox, Antonio Price pleaded guilty to rape in the first degree, theft in the first degree, and unlawful imprisonment in the first degree. Tarbox said that based upon a negotiated settlement, Price received the life sentence. But due to his criminal history, Price faced a possibility of sentence of life without parole had he gone to trial and been convicted. Rape, you should have been done life without parole. No. Okay. According to Talkbox, last August, the victim was at her home on Mulberry Street in Troy, Alabama, with Price after having been hanging out with a group of people. The victim went to bed with the understanding that everyone else was going to leave and go home. Talkbox said the victim awoke with Price standing over her before he raped her and caused injury to her face. Talkbox said the victim was then tied up while Price stole her car. The victim was able to untie herself and run to his friend's house and call for the law enforcement. Later, a DNA collection matched that of Price. Our office will appear at any future parole hearing for a defendant. Price and work to ensure that life means life and that he deserves to be incarcerated for the rest of his life for the actions for which he had now pleaded guilty, Talkbox said. You know, years ago, we hear these articles, they was like in northern states. They was up in New York, Virginia, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Texas. They're getting closer to home. Every time I read an article that something happened, it's closer to home, closer to home. And this is a new one that I just recently stumbled on. And Antonio Price, you just cemented yourself, your life in prison. All right? You just lost your freedom over something that you didn't even have to do. Wasn't even necessary. But you found it all right to rape this young lady, tie her up, and then steal a car. Okay. You don't think she'd be able to identify you? Which was rather easy. The DNA was going to do it anyway. But I don't understand what you thought was going to happen out of this case. You raped this young lady. Then you tied up and stole a car. You just fixed yourself where you will be in prison for the rest of your life. Now they're going to try to put you away where there's no possibility of parole. In my opinion, you should get that. There's no room for that. And every article that I've went through and I have did my research on has been in Brundidge, Troy, and Montgomery, and these surrounding areas. That's why I say everything is really, everything we're doing on this show now is local. And that lets you know that every crime and major crime is not done in big cities. Sometimes it's the small areas like Brundidge and Troy that these crimes are going in. And it didn't used to be that way. And these down here, you didn't really have any of this stuff going on. But now, it's just foolishness. And then it gets even dumber and dumber and dumber based on the crime they're doing. You know, if you get a job and occupy yourself with doing something meaningful, you don't have time for this buffoonery that y'all are doing out here. You shooting in cars, you raping women, stealing. There's no rainbow there's no goal at the end of the rainbow. These are dumb crimes that you're going to do extremely long times for. And then social media. Let me tell y'all something. Everything does not belong on social media. I'm just gonna tell you, not a lot of that. I know everybody uses social media, and there's nothing wrong with that. But everything you do don't belong on it. Let me give y'all a little hint. If you're going on vacation and you're leaving your house, it's not a good idea to tell everybody on Facebook that we're going for 5 days. All the whole family's down here and enjoying ourselves in Florida. You just gave a thief a blueprint on your house because now they know nobody's there. You can have the Ring doorbell. You can have that. And you can talk to them. But they already know you're not there because you done already advertised that. Some things you shouldn't do. Now, if you want to get back and do it, fine. Hey, we had a great time down there, but don't advertise you going nowhere and nobody's gonna be at your house, because now you just told them, hey, you can go and break in our house. Ain't nobody there. We're not gonna be back. Y'all, not only do you tell them when you're coming back, you tell them how long you're gonna be there. Really? You just giving them all the information they need. Now, if you want to get back and post your pictures, fine. But hey, don't give a thief a heads up that you're gonna be gone. Because how did you know we weren't there? You said on Facebook you wanted to be there. So that's how we knew. Just don't put yourself out there. Just like this article I have in front of me now. Man sentenced to life for attacking police on Facebook Live. That shit, opening shit. What's your defense? That's all I'm saying. What is your defense? You have zero defense. This story's so stupid, I really don't want to read it. But it's just why? Now, there's some incidents you just say, why? Just why? It doesn't make any sense at all. But you know what? That's the world we live in now. We live in so much turmoil. There's so much disarray. There's just so much trash and junk going on that this is where we at now. A man told me, people always trying to defend foolishness. You can't defend the indefensible. I don't care. Just like you can't justify the unjustifiable. There's just some things you can't justify, and some things you can't defend. I just don't think. And all these articles are coming from south of Troy, north of Troy. One that came out of Montgomery. Montgomery Advertising. Montgomery woman killed in triple shooting early Saturday. A Montgomery woman was killed and 2 others injured in a shooting early Saturday morning, police say. Police and fire medics were called to the 5100 block of Lobley Drive at 3:10 a.m. Montgomery Police Coleman said at the scene they found 28-year-old Deshauna McMillan with a fatal gunshot wound, and Coleman said she was pronounced dead. Police then found 2 adult male victims of the shooting, one who had suffered life-threatening injuries and one who suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Coleman said both were hospitalized. Coleman said the MPD has opened a homicide investigation into the shooting, but no other details were immediately released. At some point we gotta get tired of this shooting. We just gotta get tired of it. If this is how y'all settle a dispute, the first thing you do is grab a gun. I'm gonna say this one more time, and I'm gonna say it loud as for all y'all to see. Any person that you wanna go and shoot innocent people, or you wanna shoot somebody because of a dispute, and the first thing you do is grab a gun, you are a coward because you can't fight. You shouldn't fight, but if you fight, at least you won't get life in prison for homicide. You won't get that fate. But y'all are too big of a cowards to stand up and fight, or to settle a dispute without fighting, because you gotta show how bad you are with a gun in your hand. No, what that shows me is how big of a coward you are with a gun in your hand. Because all y'all want to do is go around, get into the argument, and the first thing you want to do is go and grab a gun. You go and grab a gun because your behind can't fight. You go grab a gun because you are a 2-bit coward, and you're going to get caught. Somebody in your clan, somebody in your group is going to tell on you. Loyalty does no longer exist. So if you think you got away, it's only a temporary situation. You're going to get caught, you're going to get locked up, and you deserve everything you get. I hate y'all that go around killing innocent people because you got a beef with them. The first thing y'all want to do is grab a gun. That shows you how big you are. No, it shows you what kind of fool you are. It shows you kind of coward you are. It shows you how small you are, because that's the only way you know that you can win a fight, because you can't win it any other way. If you had any sense, you would walk away, but then you scared they'll call you a coward. You're scared they'll call you a punk. I'd rather be called that and being free than called a hero locked up for 15 years. Which one do you think is the best? Words don't hurt me. Chris, my co-anchor, he's not here, but he always said something. He said, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to. Just because you called a punk don't mean that's what you are. You don't have to answer to that. Just because they call you a coward, you don't have to answer to that. When y'all quit worrying about reputation, well, I got a reputation. You're going to have one in prison too. If that's what you can. Well, I had to defend my girl. Well, you go to prison, whoever she was fighting with, that's who got her now. So you didn't accomplish anything out of this deal, but get locked up for 15, 20 years. If that's what you wanted to accomplish, you succeeded handily. Think. I worked in a correction facility. I've talked to numerous people that said if I would have thought about it before I did it, I wouldn't have done it. I want y'all to think about that instead of getting bullheaded and running off and just doing unnecessary foolishness. Because you can. You can get locked up too. Your boys are not going to visit you every week. Think about what you're doing before y'all do it. You'll save a lot of trouble. I'm sitting here, and there's a lot of things I could have got in trouble over, but I sat and thought about them, and I realized half of them wasn't worth it. If y'all just think about what y'all doing before you do it, you can save yourself a lot of time, a lot of trouble, a lot of headache, and a lot of heartache. See, that's what people don't understand. When you kill somebody, you just don't hurt one family, you hurt two, because the person you shot is gone, you're gone. Now, if you got a kid, significant other, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, you no good to them now. What can you do for them? Locked up. Come on, people, let's think. Let's cut all this foolishness out. Let's just try, as an old place say, let's just try to be decent and civilized for a change. Quit going around shooting innocent people. Just because you got a dispute with somebody, that does not automatically give you the right to go grab a gun to solve the dispute. Because the only thing you're going to do when you get that gun, you're going to make a small problem bigger. Then you're going to go back and say, you know what, I shouldn't have did that. The man in quicksand can tell you how he should have walked around it instead of through it. Every time you get in trouble, you can always find another way you could avoid it. Find that way before you get in trouble. This is not the popular thing to say. Because everybody want to be I got a reputation to hold. Yeah, you got a reputation, and lock you up, you're going to have a reputation too. Hey, it's your choice. Freedom over reputation. Hey, pick your choice. But hey, that's all the time we got today. We'll see you next week, same time, same place on the Burnout. And remember, always flame up and never burn out. And yeah, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. And once again, I'm gonna echo this. If you got a topic that you want to get out, leave it in the comments. Let us know where to find it at, and we'll promise you we'll put it on. Because hey, like I said before, we don't see everything. Maybe somebody out there seen something. Maybe it's a topic of importance that needs to be talked about. We'll make sure we get it. But hey, we'll see you next week. Two fingers, peace.